New this morning, Arkansas schools will soon be required to teach students about gun safety.
Supporters say it's about prevention, ensuring kids know what to do if they are around a gun.
Firearm safety will be taught in schools with the signing of Act 229 into law.
Now, this is common sense legislation that will actually save lives. Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification, multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel-like content and what I do, you can support me. The link, everything is appreciated. Once again, comments on gun-related channels can be removed without notice. Please realize that this is happening due to the algorithms. Also, online store is open, merch is available. And I also want to point out that I've been receiving a lot of messages, notes, emails, phone calls. People who have been subscribed to me for quite some time are beginning to say that they're not receiving their notifications. So please keep up to date with that. If you come across my channel and say, well, wait a minute, I'll subscribe, what happened? Take a look at your notifications. I'm not going to go down conspiracy road, but I suspected that there's something been going on for quite some time. But just make sure you check your notifications and they're on. Let's talk about this. If you remember, I did a story on Poland who was having mandatory firearms training, common sense. Now they were doing it because of Ukraine-Russia war, claiming that, it was just to make a militia to protect themselves if Russia decides to become more aggressive and encroach on their borders. Whatever. Here in the United States, Arkansas, great state of Arkansas has now implemented a mandatory firearms training course for the 2025-2026 school year. And this is the answer to accidental shootings, to all the problems that we have with children and guns. It's all right here. Teach the children the responsibilities of handling a firearm. It's just so simple. It's frightening. This is HB 1117, which was sponsored by Scott Richardson and was signed into law by Governor Huckabee-Sanders. So when they come across a firearm, they're not treating it like it's Call of Duty or Battlefield. They know how to handle it responsibly and how to make it safe. And I'm just enamored that somebody has common sense. But let me go ahead and give you more details.
Well, a newly enacted law will make gun safety courses mandatory for public school students in Arkansas.
The aim of the law is to protect children from the accidental and potentially deadly discharge of firearms by teaching them what to do if they come across an unsecured gun.
If we can save one life with this bill, it was well worth the effort.
According to the CDC, over 1,200 children died nationwide from unintentional firearm injuries from 2003 to 2017. The CDC says roughly 3/4 of the firearms used in these tragedies were stored loaded and unlocked and most commonly accessed from nightstands and other sleeping areas.
A secured firearm is the best way to ensure safety. But we're flawed people, so this provides just another support avenue.
The law instructs the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission to work with the Division of Elementary and Secondary Education to create a firearms safety course and determine the earliest grade for which the course is appropriate.
This might be something as simple as a little bit of a video that may be 4 or 5 minutes long that children watch that provides the appropriate response to an unsecured firearm, which would be to leave it alone, don't touch it, tell their friends not to touch it, and go tell an adult.
Students will also learn school safety relating to firearms and the proper handling and safe storage of guns. Some believe the course mandated by Act 229 may teach children how to use firearms, but Richardson says that's not so.
It does not teach children how to use a firearm in any stretch.
The law says the preferred method of instruction will be through videos and online materials. However, the law does provide for the possibility of optional off-campus firearm safety courses in conjunction with live fire exercises or sporting events if parents give written approval for their child's participation.
That optional part of it could very well be satisfied by like participation in our youth shooting sports program, which is in a number of schools around the state, or we do hunter education programming in I think 140 different districts.
The firearms safety course could be developed and implemented this year, but Richardson said the 2026 to 2027 school year is more likely.
Heard that and you saw that. Once again, it's just common damn sense. I'm gonna play this clip. I've used it a few times from this gentleman, but he nails it down perfectly.
Where should you keep your gun at if you have a kid in the house?
Okay, let's go back. How old is your child when you teach your child firearm safety? Okay, let's just say you keep your gun in the safe, right? You can send a little lock box right next to the bed. Okay? Middle of the night, boom, you hear somebody kicking your door in, they're hauling ass to your room, ready to spray you up. How long is it gonna take you to get that gun in the safe? I can leave my gun on the counter if my child already knows firearm safety. Now, go back to my question. How old should a child be before we teach them firearm safety? Garbage. How old were you when your parents taught you not to stick your finger in the light socket, touch the stove, play with knives? You couldn't even talk. Barely could walk. Perfect example. Some stuff you just didn't play with, right? Mommy and daddy taught you look left, look right, look left before you walk across the street. Did you play with traffic?
There it is. When did somebody tell you not to touch the stove because it's hot? Not to cross the street without looking both ways? Whether you like it or not, people have guns in their homes. Teach your children to be responsible around them. It's mind-boggling, mind-boggling that this is just not the norm across the country, but in certain areas of the country, you're going to just get met with these parents will tell you, it's like New York, Connecticut, whatever. They'll tell you to your face that this is not a good idea. Why are you letting children handle firearms? These are the same parents who will line up with their children outside of GameStop when the newest first player shooter game is available to make sure they can get it because you can't buy it unless you're 18. Same parents. Let's go into here. Arkansas students begin receiving in-school gun safety training. New law in Arkansas means students enrolled in the state's public schools will begin attending a mandatory gun safety course during the 2025-2026 school year. House Bill 1117 is signed by Governor Sarah Huckabee-Sanders last week. It was sponsored by Rep. Scott Richardson, who explained the conversations he had with neighbors led to the idea of gun safety training for students. All of our children play together and invade whatever home happens to be play of the day, and in that process, they may go into a neighbor's home and discover that unsecured firearm and how would they react. Now, you shouldn't have an unsecured firearm. Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. You shouldn't have an unsecured firearm, but the likelihood of it happening is possible, just like leaving your keys in your car. It's possible. So why not teach them how to react to the situation? But 5 News Online noted the curriculum safety instruction to be used in the course will be developed by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. AGFC spokesman Trey Reed believes the state's hunter education program can serve as a loose guide in fashioning the public school course. Reed said, "We've had hunter education in Arkansas for 45 years. Probably now it has been mandatory. It is mandatory for anybody born after 1968. You have to have it in order to get a hunting license." He believes the school safety course will be more than basic than hunter education, focusing mainly on safety. I mean, come on. And this guy kind of caps it a little bit, which is nice. Rep. Richardson similarly focused on basics. Let's remove the unknown factor. Let's make sure we portray it as what it really is, that it's a firearm that should not be handled by a child, and make sure they know how to appropriately respond by going and alerting an adult that the situation exists. Let's come out of that. Once again, this is common sense. Teach children how to respond and react around a gun. Of course, when I've taught children, I give them the same set of rules. Do not touch it. Remove yourself from the situation, find an adult, and let them know that there's an unsecured firearm. That's it. If somebody had taught firearm safety in more depth across this nation, we wouldn't need the Ethan Song laws. We wouldn't need them. Because children would know that these are not toys and they're not to be played with. But Arkansas is on the right track. I applaud them. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Teach your children firearm safety. I'm not telling you to take your children to the range and have them shoot in groups. I'm telling you to teach them how to respond if you come across a gun. It's that simple. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.